Okay, we're back here today, and we're going to be talking a little bit about Act 3 of King Henry IV by Shakespeare. So, during this part, there are four major conflicts, just like last time. The first one's between the prince and himself. Hal's going to have to grow up a lot faster than he thought he would, now that his father has given him troops and an infantry to command because of the upcoming battle. There's a clash between the old irresponsible version of Hal and the new responsible version of Hal, and we're going to see how that turns out for him.
There's also a conflict of prince versus king. King Henry tells Hal to act more like Hotspur, to act like a leader rather than a foolish thief. He tells him to stop hanging around with his deplorable friends because it's bad for his image, and he really wants his son to improve his overall life.
The next conflict is between Prince Hal and Hotspur. Prince Hal and Hotspur, they're going to end up fighting. Hal tells his father that he's going to kill Hotspur, and he swears on it, and they're going to have to fight to the death because of this.
And then there's, of course, Hotspur versus the king. Hotspur wants to lead attack on the king, who admires his skill and ability. Hotspur hates the king, but the king still admires Hotspur and actually wishes at this moment that Hotspur were to be his son, then Hal.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about some predictions and just what we think is going on. The huge battle that has been brewing, it's finally going to explode. All the tension's building up, everyone's getting ready for it. It's going to be a huge battle, extremely bloody, a lot of deaths and casualties. And seeing the number of noblemen or higher up people that are involved with all the men they can provide, this just shows how big of a battle it's going to be.
However, Hotspur and his big mouth may lead to some issues down the road. Hotspur talked so much trash and whined about the land distribution to Glendower that Glendower may have some, holding back on his full allegiance to this group because he's pretty mad. Now this could lead to him changing sides or undermining Hotspur at some point, maybe trying to take over in Hotspur's position. Hotspur then could proceeds to make fun of his wife, and then this could be her tipping point, and she could maybe serve as a spy for Hal, maybe.
So now to talk a little bit about Hal. Now that Hal has his father's trust and he's been given a leadership role as a general over infantry, some men, this is going to be the start of that dramatic reformation Hal has previously spoken of. He's going to prove himself worthy of the title of prince, and he's going to show this through traits such as being strategic, brave, and a successful leader. He told his father that he himself would be the one who kills Hotspur. This means that at some point in the battle, Hotspur and Hal will have to meet up, and it's going to be a huge bloody clash. Ultimately, for victory, and in the end, whoever wins is going to get the crown. And Hal, he's just going to become an entirely different character, nothing like the one we've seen before.
Finally, regarding his buddy Falstaff, Hal offered Falstaff a position as general with money and resources to recruit troops and build an army. However, we think Falstaff is too much of a clown to take this position seriously. On one hand, he may deny the offer and tell the prince to just come back and keep having fun, and Hal will react by telling him to grow up and stop being a child, and their friendship will end. Also, Falstaff may, because he has a rising amount of money due to the bard, he may take that money and actually spend it on his tab and then keep drinking.
On the other hand, though, Falstaff may accept the position, but he is not fit at all whatsoever to be in this kind of leadership position with men and their lives underneath of him. He might take the money that he's been offered for himself because he's extremely greedy, and ironically, like we've talked about before, he could end up being hung as a thief for stealing this money. Or, however, Falstaff might accept the position and he'll end up recruiting a group of very poorly equipped and trained men, and he could be walking a bunch of unprepared, inadequate men into a slaughterhouse. And Falstaff will be no help at all in the end, and he could end up hurting his own side more than helping. So that's basically all we have to talk about for this act. Thanks for listening.